Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for September 22nd. Show number 249. We never did decide what we're going to do for our 250th, have we?
Well, sort of.
Have we? Well, as far as a guest.
Yeah. But. No, I don't know. We got to do something special.
All right.
Should I bring the champagne?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not? I don't know. Coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Cars Hammer Down Racing Report studio. This is the Hammer Down Racing Report coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Oh, we charted again on Apple Podcasts.
Did we really?
Yeah. Well, number 172.
Ooh.
In the automotive category again.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm surprised that we chart on. There's like thousands and millions.
Yeah.
So, anywho.
Well, we're good, and we know it.
Tonight on the show, we have BJ Gregory, two-time Steel Block Late Model Series winner at Fremont. He won back-to-back last year and this year. You were there last year, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
How'd you do in that?
I got tangled up in an early race mess. And
so that's why
it was not a fun race.
Okay.
And Steve was there last year.
We'll talk with BJ here in a moment. Also, Steve Miller joining us in the studio. And mystery guest as well. We'll pot his mic up, but we're not going to put him on camera yet because we're going to talk to him later. Multi-time Oakshade Raceway champion. Do you got any other championships?
Motocross.
Okay. Well, that might give it away as to who it is. But he's going to be making a... Did you officially retire?
No.
Okay. You just haven't raced in a while.
3 years.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I got a little reminder about the scroll there. This guy is going to put this guy in a late model this weekend.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Well, we're around the shop and we're thinking this car's just gonna sit here this week, and it's like, well, it'd be nice to get somebody in the car. And so we started looking. It's like, well, who do we want to get in the car? And so we came up with somebody that could fit
in the seat,
fit in the seat, fit
Gotcha.
in the parameters of work schedule of everything else.
We had a couple of candidates, and
All right, we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it all away, but yeah. So he'll be making his first race in 3 years then at Oakshade on Saturday night. And, yeah,
Looking forward to it.
I don't know more about that. Also coming up tonight, we will be talking. There was this article that Dave Kemmer forwarded to me from Dave Argabright.
yes,
Yeah, about racing. Is there too much racing? Is that the problem? Maybe it's not a tire shortage. Maybe there's too much racing going on.
so he's advocating closing some racetracks.
No, that's not it. We'll talk more about that
Okay,
though,
well,
a little bit later.
You teased me just enough there, Scott.
I know. That's what I'm trying to do. And then also a little bit later, we'll be giving away some Big D's Pizza, courtesy of Big D's Pizza. That'll be part of the How Many. They do have a large 3-topping special going on tonight because of the Browns game. Browns taking on the Steelers. I believe that's about 8:15, so we're going to try and wrap this up before then, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
So give Big D's Subs, Ribs, Chicken and More in Clyde a call right now, 419-547-1444, or order online at orderbigdspizza.com. And make sure to follow them on Facebook for their special offers, like the large 3-topping $9.99 special. That's usually it's a Sunday special,
Right.
But it's going on tonight because it's football.
And make that call right now, or get on the internet and order your pizza so you'll have it for the game.
For the game. There you go.
Or wings, or
And bring us some too. That'd be cool.
please.
Big D's, big on taste, not on price. Oakshade Raceway, we're the fastest meet to race, racing every Saturday night. Actually, for one more night this season, I guess. Make sure to follow them on social media or visit oakshaderaceway.com. This weekend, it's Topless Night and the Sportsman Modified Dirt Duel. $1,000 to win that. That's sponsored by Dittman Motorsports, Ron Miller Race Cars, Rusty Schlenk Race Cars, Hank Walls, Get Her Done, and River City Speed Shop.
I hear there's some trash talk going on already.
Is there?
Yeah.
Why
Between-
would they?
Obviously, the modifieds think they're going to be king.
Well, we had that Twitter poll that I put up last week. I left
Really?
it up for a week, and it started off, it was dead even. It was 50-50.
Yeah.
This morning, as the last I checked it, modifieds 80%,
Really?
20%.
Ooh.
So modifieds, they're coming in talking trash.
Now, is
thinking
that for
they're
cautions or is that for
That's who's going to win.
Not cause cautions.
No, that's who's going to win.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I haven't seen that. I know there's been a lot of talk for years during the off season. Every year people say they should replace the sportsman class with the modifieds because there's a lot of modifieds around. And it seems like every year that happens. And now we got the sportsmen and the modifieds combined together.
So now it's put up or shut up time.
There you go. We'll see how that works out. And finally, freeze frame photos. Contact them for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lane. You probably have a lot of those, don't you?
A few.
Freeze frame photo, victory lane.
Yep. A few of
Pictures.
them.
Yeah. Charlie's probably got a bunch of pictures of this guy over here who I will not mention just yet. Now's the time to start working on those custom calendars. I bet you could use those old pictures as well. Make some
Ooh, yeah.
old-timey calendars for 2023.
Yeah, the calendar that the kids got me for Christmas last year has a bunch of my old cars, and it's really cool. Every month I get to, I remember that one.
There you go. So give Charlie a call, 419-476-9978. Freeze frame photos, special moments frozen in time. Also thanks to Dominator Race Products, Rhymler Race Cars, and Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon in Perrysburg.
I was just noticing you've got a nice haircut there,
Yeah,
Scott.
I got a cut. John the barber, he cuts my hair
Really?
a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half. Yeah.
Ooh. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Go there. Ask for John the barber. He may even give you a discount.
Yeah, he ought to.
Yeah, you probably get half off since it's only half a job, right?
That's it.
Mr. BJ Gregory, how's it going?
How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Pretty good. Now you're coming off the win Saturday night at Fremont, and you have this new video series you started this year, Chasin Checkers. So a lot to talk to you about. Let's start off with the Fremont races. I mean, how much experience do you have running Fremont other than these two steel block late model series events?
That's it. Last year for the steel block deal was the first. We've been to the swap meet down there, 1,000 times. Looked at the track then, but last year's steel block race was the first time that we had ever put a car on the track and myself on the track. So 2 years.
So looking at the track during the swap meets gave you an unfair advantage?
No, that track, it's very unique. It's kind of interesting. I figured out a few more things about it this year than I did last year, but unique track, similar to Attica in some ways. The lighting is phenomenal there. So I actually like racing the track better at night than I do during the day. I feel like I can see it better. It's outlined better anyway. But yeah, I don't think the swap meet gave me any kind of advantage.
Oh, darn.
But you're 100% there.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
I've heard rumors that they would like to have the steel block cars back more than just one show next year.
That would be interesting. I really like that series. There's some talent that runs in that series. I've actually followed them a little bit more this year. Last year was Fremont deal was our first race with them. And it just so happened that we won it. But this year we went and ran with them several different times. Tyler County, 35 Raceway, Hilltop, Wayne County. So traveling around with them guys a little bit more this year is definitely kind of opened up my eyes to. It's fun racing with people from other states and different backgrounds and different talent levels. It's a really neat series. So I wouldn't be opposed to them having some more races up this way. Save me a little bit of drive time.
How was your record when you traveled with them?
Not too bad. I think we went to Tyler County for our first race this year. I'd never been there before, really never seen the place. And I think we ran 5th that night. I think we ran 5th or 6th at Wayne County. I'd never seen that place either. Everywhere I've went this year, or, most everywhere I've went this year has been first time on a track. And obviously they do a hot lap qualifying. So you're right up against the gun right away. But yeah, I think we've run in the top 5 with them. I'm pretty sure every time we've ran.
And do you ever consider running their full series then?
Yeah, it would be really neat to do that. The only problem is they pay pretty well for races. They pay pretty well back throughout the field. But their points championship, the amount of traveling just really doesn't justify the means to travel the full series with them. But as far as racing with some of the people in that series, yeah, I'd absolutely put a season together with them if it made sense financially.
Now, did you hit any other tracks other than Oakshade that wasn't associated with a Steel Block Late Model Series event?
Yeah, we ran up to Merritt for the wood tick. That was the first time we had been to that. I think it was the first time we'd ever been to Merritt. Then we went up to Mount Pleasant last weekend too on Friday night, and that didn't go so well. That was the first time I'd ever seen that place.
That one's different.
Yeah.
Didn't Rusty win up there?
Yeah, Rusty won.
That's because he was our guest last week.
Yeah.
So next race you're in, you're expected to win, just FYI.
Well, that would be great. I wouldn't complain about that at all. I'll come on every week if that's the case.
So what happened up there with you?
We set a decent qualifying time. I think there was 34 cars there. We qualified 7th out of 34, so I wasn't too disappointed about that. It started us in a good spot in the heat race, started on the outside pole of the heat race. Got a little bit roughed up right off the get. Guy tried to go for the gusto right there in the first corner, first lap. But it all worked out. We ended up winning the heat race, put us in the redraw. Of course, I pulled a 6, I think a 6 or a 4, something like that, which is typical of my luck. And we kind of hung around in the top 5, top 8, really the whole race. It was rubbered up when we rolled on the track, so obviously it didn't get any better as the feature went on. And every restart we had, we got stuck on the inside, of course. So we would kind of fall back a little bit, get back up in line. Some people would get tight or whatever, get a couple more spots back, and that's kind of how the whole race went right till the end. There was 5 to go. They went double file restart again with 5 to go. And at that point in the race, I think everybody had enough of everybody else trying to move up in line, perhaps too soon or rough their way up in the line. And some guys got tangled up in the front stretch in front of me. I had nowhere to go at that point, and we tore a race car up pretty bad. So that made for quite the long weekend.
I bet. So you finished 9th in the points at Oakshade.
Mm-hmm.
How would you rate your season as a whole, with all the racing you've done this year?
Yeah, honestly, pulling back 30,000 feet from it and kind of looking at it holistically, we've had a hell of a season. We haven't had the finishes that we wanted. I come from the school that if you're not winning, you're not doing the right thing. But you kind of look at that and take it with a grain of salt and understand that, some of the competition that we race, especially around here, with the supercars or open cars or whatever people want to call them, is truly some of the best in the country. I mean, we got, Rusty, 3-time national champion that runs with us weekly almost. And he seems to be a lot of the places that we go to extracurricular. So to step back and kind of look at it, I think the season's been really good overall. We've made a lot of positive improvements. I've learned a ton in the car as a driver. Brandon does all the setup stuff for me, my brother. And he's learned a ton and kind of traveling around to these different tracks, different dirt, different configurations and having to adapt right away in order to get up to speed. That's helped us out a ton too. So we probably had the best season we've ever had in a dirt late model anyway. Especially when you look at Attica, historically at Attica, we were lucky to run in the top 10, make the show, run in the top 10. That was a good night for us. And I think we had, a couple of top 5s there this year, won a heat race there this year. I don't think we qualified out of the invert at all there this year, maybe once. So, to kind of come out and put the nights together like that and, get some finishes to back that up. Definitely been a good season overall, a lot of learning and looking forward to next season.
So what track would you say was your favorite track this past season that you got to race on and why?
Yeah. Honestly, I got to say Tyler County. I like that place a lot. It's no different than really any other track as far as, the kind of the facilities and how it's ran. I mean, it's a dirt track. It's a dirt track in the middle of nowhere, and it's just in the middle of nowhere in a bunch of mountains. But the surface is really cool. It's tighter than most anything that we race around here. It's got a wall all the way around it, a guardrail wall. So that makes it kind of unique. And the banking on there is a little bit different than most things that you see around here. It's very steep banking, entrance to center, and then it kind of tapers off a little bit on exit. And it's red clay. So the track is kind of predictable. It's kind of hammered down early in the night. And then, when I was there in the spring, it stayed kind of hammered down up against the wall all night. And then when we were there, we went there for the Hillbilly 100 weekend, which they run a Hillbilly 50 steel block race, pays $5,000 to win. And, awkwardly enough, that thing ended up getting kind of dry slick in the feature and getting bottom dominant. So really kind of a neat racetrack. I like Tyler County a lot.
I'm surprised you didn't say Fremont, since you got wins there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Fremont. I don't have a problem with that place at all. It's unique. Like I said, you race around here for so long. And I mean, we've been in this game for a while now, not necessarily in dirt late models, but definitely in and around this area for a while. And, like I said, some of the tracks around here are kind of predictable. Fremont and Attica, they're very similar in a lot of ways. So I don't hate Fremont, but I like the things that are kind of out of our wheelhouse that are a little bit different that we don't see very often, because it forces you as a driver and as a setup guy to kind of adapt and figure new things out. So,
gotcha. So you started doing this video thing. You got a YouTube channel, Chasin Checkers. Mm-hmm. Do you consider yourself a social media influencer now?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had that kind of following. No, we started that thing back in the winter. Back in the winter, we were going through some things here kind of as a family with Brandon and stuff. He had some health issues and stuff. And we were all kind of sitting around one night, and I've been told for years by multiple different people, like, hey, it'd be really cool if we could kind of see a behind the scenes of what goes on with racing and with the race car. And, we see the track and we see that stuff, but you talk about all the stuff that you do kind of behind the scenes, and that would be neat to get a glimpse into that. And, we've obviously watched Hunt the Front and all them guys, and a lot of different YouTube channels, really just even not racing related, and thought, there is kind of a void in the market. I mean, you search anything that you want to know about dirt late models. I mean, how to build a rear end or how to rebuild a rear end or how to put a wide 5 hub together. And there's nothing out there on the internet, which is surprising because
it's Ron's fault. There's a void you could have filled, and he's already beat you to it now.
Hey, we've got our secrets.
Yeah, and that's it too. You definitely keep your secrets, and we don't show anything on the Smasher. We might show it from a distance or something like that. And
there it is over in the corner.
Yeah, we keep that kind of tucked away. But I thought it would be cool for people to understand and really kind of see that this is not just a weekend hobby. I mean, this is almost a second full-time job, all year round thing that we do. And there's a lot of intricacy that goes into what we do with these cars. I mean, I think a lot of fans get jaded in the stands. They want to see a wreck, or they might want to see somebody get tore up or whatever. But when you kind of start to understand, the intricacy that goes into these things, the time, obviously the money aspect of it, it gives you a better appreciation and a different perspective for when you're seeing somebody race on the track.
Now, do you think, a lot of Ryan Missler has been doing this? It seems to be almost, it's almost becoming the norm, I guess. It hasn't really quite got there. Not everybody's doing it. It's still just a few. But do you think that this is in the future going to be part of being a race car driver or team, even at a local level?
Yeah, I mean, and sorry for Ryan, I kind of forgot to mention him because he kind of started this deal locally around here quite a while back. He's put in the time and has got the followers and kind of the fan base that represents the time that he's put into it. So it's no easy task. I mean, putting these YouTube things together is, luckily I'm decently good behind a camera, so I don't have any problem creating content. And then I just give it to Brandon and his girlfriend and say, hey, you got to edit this and get this up on the internet. But yeah, I think honestly becoming the norm is going to be a thing because, there's racers are a dime a dozen out there. There's no doubt about that. And you got to figure out a way to get yourself and your team out there to the public and kind of start to get some recognition and get some attention around that, because we all know, Ron, Steve, I'm sure you guys know, we've done this for years. And, what, maybe 30 race car drivers in the country, their names. It's kind of a household name. And there's, probably, tens of thousands of race car drivers out there. So the social media thing, it's a wonderful avenue to kind of get yourself out there and maybe get in front of some people that you wouldn't have the opportunity to do elsewhere.
And it gives you another outlet for your sponsors.
Well, and
Yeah.
BJ, that's got to be a big thing because sponsors want their name out in front of everybody, and a lot more than just 30 laps a night. They expect to see results, and that your program plays right into that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool, and it's huge for the sponsors to be able to kind of get them out there. Especially when you go to other places that a lot of my sponsors are just hometown mom and pop businesses. I don't have anything corporate, so to be able to kind of put their name out there on a weekly basis and represent them all over anywhere we go. Not only at the track, but through YouTube and we actually did some really cool things that I was quite proud of. We went to a couple of sponsor shops and, did a tour and really kind of got into the nuts and bolts of what their business was all about. And I was really proud of that because, a lot of mom and pop businesses don't get that opportunity to get out there and reach, the masses, if you want to call it that. So that was another cool aspect of it too.
And the other thing about the nuts and bolts is like people really don't understand how much work goes into getting the car on the track every week. I mean, getting the car on the track, there's a lot of work every week just to get the car on the track. And the people in the stands just really don't even have a clue. So these videos will kind of give an insight on what actually happens.
Yeah. And it's really neat because, to that point, Steve, that's absolutely right. The week in and week out grind is definitely an aspect of racing that most people don't understand. But also the winter long grind. Nowadays it seems like depending on how much you want to travel and how deep your pockets are, we could easily race pretty much all year round. And so
Absolutely.
It's funny because I remember being a kid and when Dad, started racing at Oakshade, and it was like, okay, the race season was from the end of April there till, the end of September. And that was kind of the chunk of time that the race season was. And now it just seems like that chunk of time is just getting broader and broader as, we start racing. I think we went to Tyler County in mid-March or something matter of fact, one of the videos is me washing the car in the snow. We had got some late season snow. So, it gets longer and longer, the race seasons do. And I'm not even scratching the surface yet. There's a lot of folks out there that are putting 80, 90, 100 races together in a year. And I don't know how they do that.
What kind of feedback have you gotten?
So that's been one of the other really cool aspects of this thing is, we'll go to tracks and, we were up at Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And like I said, I've never even seen the place before in my life. And we got people walking up to us and telling us they watched the videos and they really like us and recognize the car and things like that. And actually down at Tyler County, we pulled in the pits and the guy that was next to us, a modified driver, he was like, "Hey man, I watch your videos." So that was really neat. Everything that I've gotten so far has been positive. Of course, there's a handful of comments out there on the YouTube that, are negative, but you're going to have that. Tyler Carpenter's
Can't please everybody.
Keyboard warriors, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, you should have done this. You should have done that.
Yeah, exactly. I love the folks that are giving setup advice. Those are my favorite people. I don't know why you're not doing this, or you should have softened that spring or done this. And it's like, okay, man, appreciate you.
Everybody knows how to do it better.
Yep, absolutely.
Favorite saying, BJ, it's all easy from 7 rows up.
Dean Henry's making me feel guilty.
Yeah, I've never lost a race from the grandstands, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're going to have to go to Big D's and do a video.
Oh, okay.
So where can people find Chasin Checkers? I know it's on YouTube. Is there just search Chasin Checkers there? You have a Facebook page too, I believe.
Yep. We got a Facebook page, and that's where kind of all the information about Chasin Checkers comes out primarily the first time around. We haven't gotten big enough on YouTube to do anything live on there, any live streams or anything like that. So if you want to find us, I'd say the best way to do it, like you said, Scott, search YouTube for Chasin Checkers, and appreciate a subscribe and maybe a like. And then, to kind of stay informed about what's going on, see any of the latest video drops, search Chasin Checkers on YouTube, and that'll be the place that all the information comes out when we're putting a new video out or anything that's going on.
So what's your plans for this weekend?
This weekend, so long as we can get the car back together, we kind of thrashed on it there Saturday morning to get ready for Fremont, and sometimes in the heat of the moment, you do things subpar to the way you normally do them. So right now, this thing's currently sitting in front of me, and it's got the whole nose tore off of it again, and 3/4 of the body. So we're going to try to get that all back together the right way, and planning on going down to Atomic. There's a memorial race going on down there for the Steel Block Series, and $1,200 to win. And then there's a whole bunch of lap sponsor money that they're putting up. They're paying to win the dash. They're paying for overall fast time qualifier. They're paying for each of the heat races to win. So it could be a pretty lucrative weekend if everything goes as planned.
That's a fun track too.
You've got quite a few laps at Atomic, don't you, BJ?
No, actually, I've never raced at Atomic. I went down there when I crew chief for Chris Keller. We went down there a handful of times, and I've seen the place raced a lot, but I've never actually been on the track in a car myself.
Well, that's kind of like going to Fremont at the swap meets and looking at the track, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You should have a major advantage.
So you're going to win. Well, you're on the show, so I mean, high expectations there.
Man, I hope so. I mean, it seems like anytime we unload, we park next to that 5M car, that Zach Milby, and great guy to race around, become pretty decent friends over the year. And, he's really good down there at Atomic. I think they've raced down there a handful of times this year, maybe 3 or 4 times. And I think he's sitting on 3 or 4 wins down there. So that's going to be the guy we got to beat down there, in my opinion. And hopefully we can put something together and make it happen.
Well, just make sure you pit next to him and tell him, hey, I was on Hammer down this week. Plan on running second.
Yeah, there you go.
The first time I went down to Atomic, and your first laps is qualifying, and went down into 1 and hit the gas, going into 3, hit the brake pedal breaks off. And I spin the car, and I back up, and the guy in front of me is like waving, is like, your wheels are straight. Do I want to finish qualifying?
Don't do what he did.
So I went out and qualified and took the checker and trying to scrub off speed, trying to get to, you had to go down the backstretch into the infield, and it's like trying to scrub off speed without a brake pedal. it was kind of nuts.
Well, I hope none of that happens to me.
Yeah.
What
goofy stuff?
What kind of plans do you have, or have you even thought about it for 2023 yet?
We've definitely been kicking it around. We're not really sure when 2022 is going to end yet. We're actually definitely planning on going down to the Dirt Track World Championship down there at Portsmouth. That's in middle October there. They got a big steel block race to win there. It's like $4,000 to win, I believe. So another track that I've seen, never raced on. So we're going to go down to that. Hunt the Front's putting on a pretty big race in East Alabama Speedway, I think. That's about a 13-hour cruise. So we've kicked around going to that. And then as far as 2023 goes, I think we're probably just going to go through the car. There's been some talks about, maybe a new chassis, but I don't know yet. I mean, honestly, with the way the economy is and the way things are, we might just put a new body on this thing and go back at it again. And hopefully we can do, at least the same amount of traveling we did next year. That's really been a huge advantage to me and Brandon, just traveling around, seeing different tracks, like I said, and getting the opportunity to learn new things.
Are there any steel block shows in February, maybe south of here?
None that I'm aware of. At least that particular steel block series, they end their season either right there at Atomic or maybe one night after that at Ohio Valley or something like that. But no steel block races that I know of. That East Alabama deal is pretty much the only one that is on my radar anyway.
Florida could be fun.
I'd love to get down to East Bay before they close that place, but
Yeah, buddy.
I need about another 150 horsepower and I don't know, maybe a little bit of extra money in the bank.
Well, speaking of which, you want to give a plug to your sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta thank Aquatech Water Conditioning, small company out of Wauseon, Ohio. Here, they've done some of our water treatment stuff for myself and my parents, and got hooked up with them 2 years ago, and that's been wonderful. Actually, made some racing fans out of them. They bring their kids out to Oakshade and come out there as a family quite often throughout the season when we're there, and that's really cool to see. So, big thanks to them. Robertson EDM, Jeff Robertson out of Edgerton, Ohio, specializes in EDM machining, which is kind of outside of the norm. But I've known Jeff for a lot of years and helped him out when he owned stuff for Keller, and he's helped me out the last couple of years, and I really appreciate that. CCR, the Racers Connection, Chris Keller up there. I'm sure most people know him. He's been a good friend of mine for a lot of years, and it helps me out throughout the season. We help each other out, and that's a really great relationship. Turnworks Machining and Fabrication, that's our family-owned business. Dad does all the machining work. I do all the fabrication work. So those are the sponsors right now. And then obviously Schwartz Race Cars. They've been great to us, at least over the last couple of years. And Audie's a good dude, good people down there. That's what I got for now.
Well, the times I've seen you out at Oakshade this year, you've definitely looked very fast. You've had some top 5 finishes there, and we expect you to get that win then at Atomic this weekend.
Well, that is absolutely the game plan.
All right, BJ, we appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on, Scott.
Yep. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
See ya.
We'll see you.
Take care.
Yep. There you go. BJ Gregory running the Steel Block Late Model Series events. So coming off that win at Fremont this past weekend. I'm surprised he didn't say Fremont's his favorite since he's 100% there. I mean, every time you go there, you
hard to
win.
argue with those
I would like that.
Hard to argue with those statistics.
Yeah, but very cool. So, and again, check out his Chasin Checkers on Facebook or YouTube. Maybe they'll do a crossover thing with Hunt the Front.
Yeah.
Later on. So, coming up, we'll reveal our multi-time late model champion who's sitting right over here still patiently, who's going to be racing this weekend. Before we do that, we'll go through our racing roundup here. Then we'll get to him. How's that? What? Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
Okay. Oakshade Raceway this past weekend, Eric Spangler picked up his that was his first feature win?
Yeah.
First
At
At Oakshade, that's what I meant, yeah. Yeah, I find that hard to believe, but yeah, Eric Spangler picking up his first Oakshade feature win in the late models. Rusty Smith doing double duty. I think he had top 5 in the late models and then went on to win the sportsman feature. Colin Schilt picked up the Bomber Spectacular win. A little controversial finish with that one. He finished second in the race, but due to a disqualification, was awarded the top spot and $1,000 for the win there. Caleb Hinckley came from Indiana and won the compact A main. Todd Drews Jr. picked up the compact B main win. Fremont Saturday night, Craig Mintz was your 410 sprint car winner. Jamie Miller picked up the win in the trucks. BJ Gregory, as we mentioned, 2-time Steel Block Late Model Series champion at Oakshade Raceway, or at Fremont Speedway, one of these places. Toledo Speedway, it was the Glass City 200. Trevor Berry picked up the win in the Outlaw Super Late Models. William Sawalik.
I'm
Sawalik,
not
I
sure the
believe.
CRA guys.
That's the ARCA CRA Super Series winner there.
Right.
Each one of those groups going 100 laps for that. Montpelier was off this past weekend. Sandusky was off this past weekend. World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. Logan Schuhart won the Tom Tarleton Classic at Keller Auto Speedway over there in California. That was Friday night. And in Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions action, the Dirt Classic qualifier at Williams Grove. Friday night, Lance DeWeese picking up the win there. Then Saturday, the Dirt Classic at Lincoln Speedway. Brent Marks picked up the $20,000 win. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the 18th Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals were going on this past weekend. Last Thursday, picking up the win was Shane Clanton. Friday night, Bobby Pierce picked up the win. Saturday was postponed to Sunday. And Superman again, Jonathan Davenport, picking up the win.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
He's only been mentioned once so far tonight.
I know, it's crazy. ARCA Series was in action at Bristol Motor Speedway last Thursday, about this time, as a matter of fact. Bush Beans 200. Sammy Smith picking up the win there. They're about to wrap up their season October 8th at Toledo Speedway.
Yeah, at a oval track near us.
Yeah, their home track, as a matter of fact. NASCAR action, the Cup Series, Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. I did not see much of that. Actually, none of it because I was racing. I doubt you saw much of
No,
that. I've
didn't see
heard
much.
the new next gen cars. They weren't very exciting.
Not at all.
That's what I heard. Chris Buescher picked up the win though. Xfinity race on Friday. Noah Gragson. That was the Food City 300, and then the truck race also last Thursday night. Ty Majeski picking up the win in the UNOH 200 presented by Ohio Logistics. Other notes. The XR Super Series late models were running Monday and Tuesday at Kokomo. Shane Clanton picked up the 20,000 to win race win on Monday. Tuesday it was Tim McCready picking up the 40,000 to win. And as we mentioned earlier, Rusty Schlenk picked up the win Friday at Mount Pleasant Speedway. So
That was a pretty good paying show, if I remember right.
the Mount Pleasant,
Yeah.
I think it was. I was looking at him holding the check, and I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
what the number on the check now.
Oh, somebody will tell us.
It's 22,000. I think it was 2,000. Maybe it was 2,500.
I think the points were the bigger part of it. I mean, trying to just stay up in
UMP
points. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's trying to gain points. He didn't do so good at Oakshade. He was driving a new car. So he let Colin Schilt run his regular
Right.
late model.
Colin looked like he had a handful, but learned quite
I
a
didn't
bit.
get to see any Colin running.
Yeah.
He looked okay, and
Yeah.
okay. Sure, he didn't look as good as me having it totally sideways and first time in a late model.
Pretty scary, that one.
I scared you, not me. Make sure to support Dominator Race Products. They have a fresh stock of Camaro and late model bumpers now in stock. They also specialize in body components for late models, modified sprint cars, street stocks, and much more. DominatorRaceProducts.com or give them a call, 419-923-6970. Also available from Ron Miller Race Cars and other reputable dealers across the USA. Speaking of Ron Miller Race Cars, give him a call, 734-856-7223. Race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, broken weld fixing,
Yeah.
smushed tailpipe fixing.
We're going to have to do some serious fabrication on the back of that one this winter, Scott. Be nice this
All right,
weekend.
so don't hit the back of my car is what you're saying.
Just go fast enough and nobody will hit the back of your car.
All right. Maybe that's the problem.
There you go.
So we have in the studio, is it three-time Oakshade Raceway champion. And before we put him on camera here, let's go over how this all came together. You guys kind of spearheaded this, I guess.
Well, we did.
Whose idea was it? Was it yours or Steve's?
There was a retired racer. You might recognize his shirt.
There you go. He's got
Stopped
a
by-
good number on his car.
Stopped by the shop.
He used
and,
to be flying around Hawaii.
Yeah,
sorta.
yeah. And we put him in the car just to sit. And he fit quite nicely. And he just politely declined. He just couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger. So Steve and I had decided that he was going to run my car this weekend. And we were going to put someone in his car. And the next name
the Lightning McSteve.
Yep, the next name on the list was the guy sitting on my right side.
Should we put him on screen?
Might as well put him
All
on.
right, I think everybody probably knows who it is. There he is, Rowdy Schroyer.
Oh,
Hi.
who is that?
Yeah, we'll make him the big guy there. So I mean, I guess they came to you and with this idea, and you said, okay, was that it?
Pretty much.
At first he said, I don't know. And then he thought about it and said, yeah, I'm in.
Pull the microphone a little closer to you there.
when Ron called me on Monday, asked me if I'd do it, I had hip surgery a little over 3 months ago, so I wasn't sure I could get in the car.
My hip hurts when I'm at work.
Yeah.
The seatbelt hurts in my truck. I said, well, get your ass over here and sit in the race car and see if it's any better.
It felt a lot better.
And it was.
And you loaded the car today, and how did it feel driving to the trailer?
I told Stevie it felt great just driving it down the driveway.
Okay, I was going to ask if you actually made it go instead of just
I
sitting
backed it out of the shop and drove it over to the trailer.
All right.
That right there was
Can you tell how it handles?
handles good. Problem is the driver hasn't been out on the track for 3 years.
Oh.
And then I have to do the jump in and qualify.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you get the green flag and go.
Right.
So yeah, we haven't done that. That started within the last 3 years. So how come you haven't been? You said you haven't officially retired. How come we haven't seen you in a race car in the last 3 years?
Well, I've drove for Alan Blake the last 10 years. And when COVID hit, he couldn't come over here. So I sent the race
Alan
car
Blake from Australia.
From Australia. So I sent the car over to him. And then,
That was one of my questions: is if you still had the car, but that.
no, if I had it, he'd let me race it. So he made me send it to him.
So the 28 car, is it still 28, or did he change it?
Well, when I shipped it over, it was still 28.
Okay.
Where it's at now, I don't know. But he is coming back next summer, and he said if he comes back, he'll buy another car and we'll go racing again.
With you behind the wheel?
Yeah.
No doubts there. No hesitation
I don't think so.
on his part. I mean,
I don't think so.
To be fair, Scott, the COVID regulations in Australia were just outrageous. If Alan had come over last summer, getting back into the country, he would have had to quarantine in a government-owned facility for 1 month before he could go back home, and it would all be on his dime. And Roddy, I forget what he said it was, but it was like $500 a day or something. It was.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. It was expensive.
that's an expensive quarantine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Better get good meals there.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel being second choice to Shane Yoder?
Yeah.
Everybody's been trying to get Yoder back in a car for a long time.
And he's afraid. He knows he can't do it, so he had me do it.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching tonight.
That's why I said it.
So, what are you most looking forward to on Saturday night?
Just going out and having fun. You know, I don't think I've lost it, but you never know until you get out on the racetrack. And these cars are so much different than even now than 3 years ago. So if I can get used to Stevie's car pretty quick, you know, and not get in the way, I think I'll be okay.
You think you'll be in the way?
I hope not.
I'm betting not.
Any predictions? Top 10, top 5, make the show.
Running at the
The
end.
first thing's make the show. If I make the show, then we'll go from there. And then depending on if I start in the top 5, I'd love to stay there. You know, if I start in the top 10, I want to stay there. The group qualifying thing, my kid was teasing me the other day. I said, well, I'm just going to go out and be quick time in my group and be done with it.
That does make it a little easier.
Scott, you might know what's been the car count for the topless race.
I don't know. That's like one race out of the year.
Well, you
like
get to
the last
announce, you
race of the-
watch,
I
and
think it's
talk.
like mid-20s.
Yeah, I'd say it's usually
upper
pretty.
mid-20s.
I'd say maybe 25. I mean, it's not,
25, 28.
and it's optional this year, so not everybody has to be topless.
I thought the late models had to be topless.
In the past they have been, but this year it's optional for the late models.
Really?
Well, that's what it said on the website, on the Facebook page.
That's what I was told.
They said what?
It said optional on the Facebook page.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm assuming both the 35 and the 95 will both be topless then.
Yeah, the 95 is.
They're both in the trailer that way.
Okay, yeah, it's optional for sportsmen, super stocks, and the late models. So any of those 3 classes can take the roofs off their car this week.
Well, gee, I wonder if a sideboard would be optional. We might change this whole darn program.
Yeah.
You can try that. I'm not sure that that's going to work out, but
We could make it happen.
well, you might not pass tech. That's all I can.
Well,
So what do you?
Roof just slid over.
So what have you been up to the past 3 years then? Since you haven't been in a race car,
I just go out and watch.
I've seen you around the pits a few
Yeah,
times.
just go watch. And I mean, without Alan being here, there's just been no opportunity to race.
So have you been missing it then? I mean, is it you feeling the itch?
Yes and no, because my kid racing pro motocross now. I go to all his races, and he's doing really well. So I enjoy that as much now as doing it myself.
How far does that take you? I mean, does he just race in the area, or does he go?
He goes all over the country.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on MAV TV and all that stuff. So
So and you follow him around to all of his races?
RJ says you yell at him too.
a little bit.
Do you tell him what to do?
Not anymore. Not anymore. He knows what he's doing.
Any chance we'd ever see RJ in a race car?
He drove Alan's car before Alan
Did he?
couldn't come over, and he got out of that thing and he said, Dad, I have way more respect for you now than I ever did. He said, I cannot drive that car.
Maybe he just needs a few more laps.
Yeah, maybe when he gets done with motocross, he'll try it.
So, let's see here.
Scott, Pam said no. I wonder what she was talking about with that no.
Probably that it's mandatory. She was probably talking to you.
Oh, or maybe the sideboard comment.
Oh, that definitely would be what she's talking about.
No. If she was talking about the sideboard, there would have been 4 exclamation points after the no.
Probably. So, have you done anything to prepare? I mean, when did this deal come about? How long have you known you're going to be racing?
Monday.
So, it's only been a couple days.
Right. Ron called me Monday. I went and sat in the car Tuesday, and then it was a done deal Tuesday.
Check the seat belts and.
Did you have to get a new fire suit or helmet or anything?
I've tried it all on. It still fits.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So, anything else you're doing to prepare? Any exercises for the hip?
It's too late now.
Okay.
I only have 2 days, so it's too late.
There's
Well,
your.
and you don't have a
Pam
roof.
gave you your
Thank
4
you.
exclamation points.
Thank you, Pam.
And it doesn't have a roof either, so I mean that's gonna make it a little easier to get in too.
Have you run topless before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's not going to be a new experience.
No.
But if
And
you
I like it,
okay,
but I wish they all had to be topless because it's better with the roof on. The car's faster with the roof on it.
whoa. Well, see, don't give away the secrets now.
Well, and the people up in the stands, you don't see like everything the driver's doing. So this one race, you actually see the drivers moving their arms back and forth going into the corners. So it's kind of cool.
My dog's got gas. Holy cow! Wow, that's powerful.
Scott's been doing the show with a dog on his lap.
Yeah. So she would stop crawling on you guys. So is this just a one-time deal then, or could this possibly any?
It's probably a one-time deal because
Okay.
Steve's going to build another car probably over the winter, and I just thank him and Mary for letting me do it.
And Mary.
And Mary.
Mary's the control of the whole thing. She makes everything happen.
So you're going to build a new car. Does that mean you're going to have 2?
I mean I'd like something different. I don't know. I haven't even thought that far as there's been thought about doing it, but as far as what we're building, am I getting a different car? I don't know. I mean, it's all money, I guess money related. I mean, I could build one pretty cheap. Would I sell my old car, just keep it? I don't know.
How do you predict he's going to do in your car?
Now, dating back a long time ago, Roddy built a brand new car probably 15 years ago, and Todd was out there just making laps. Roddy gets on the track, pulls out right in front of him, goes into one like he has been racing it all his whole entire life. And that's kind of how he's going to be going into this weekend. He's just going to go into one like he's been racing the car all season.
Okay.
So I would say he's a good chance for a top 10.
And you're not going to take it easy, be a little worried that you're running somebody else's equipment, but you run Alan Blake's equipment, so you're used to running other people's stuff anyways.
This guy told me, don't worry about it. Run it as hard as you can.
Well, that's because it's Steve's car, not his.
Well, he said it's his engine and Steve's car, so run it hard.
Do you remember what I was talking about, Roddy, about when you build a car, went on the track, and brand new car, you went into one like you've been racing it all season.
Yep.
And then you ran, you and your brother just back and forth about 50 laps, just back and forth. In a brand new car you've never taken a lap on.
Yep.
So you haven't taken any laps in this car?
He has.
I have.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
In a different configuration, though.
Yeah, it wasn't like it is now.
But you have some idea of what to expect.
He knows where the steering wheel is.
Okay. And the gas pedal and the brake, right?
Yeah, and how to shift it. I still know how to do that. So as long as I can get in it and get back out of it, it should be fun.
All
We
right.
don't even care if you can get out.
I'll just sit in it all night.
Now, are you afraid that anybody's going to think there might be some racers out there that think it's Steve in the car still?
Well, I was going to say, if anyone has a problem with Steve, it's not him this weekend, it's me. So don't take it out on me.
well,
take it out on the 35.
The other
No, don't be going there either.
The other thing is you could go and maybe take someone out, and then after the races, someone comes up to Steve's pit, and you're like, yeah, it was him. I don't know.
That's true.
So is that maybe in your back pocket then?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't do that.
Well, you wouldn't admit it anyways, right?
No, I'd admit it.
Okay.
I've done it once
Oh,
on purpose.
do tell. Do tell.
I took Tim Fisher's left front off his car one time.
Oh,
His girlfriend was bragging in the pay window that Tim hit me on purpose. So the next week I took his wheel off. And then I went and told him I did it on purpose. And we never had a problem after that.
about earning respect. Okay, very nice. There you go, little anecdote from Rowdy Schroyer. And you said Alan Blake is planning on coming back next summer, so chances are we're going to see you running at least Oakshade again.
Could be.
Unless the government invents another pandemic between now and spring.
Well, let's hope not.
Right.
You notice I said the government.
Yes, I did. And did you notice how I ignored it and said,
Yeah.
let's hope not?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to bring that up because
Okay.
Scott likes to keep it non-political.
Yeah. We got a little bit of racing news, then we're going to do how many and give away some pizza. Before we do that, one last question for you. Have you ever run Sportsman?
Yes.
Okay. So then you have a little bit of insight into this. Sportsman and Modifieds. Who do you think's going to be faster there? Who's going to win the feature event? Is it going to be a Modified or a Sportsman?
My prediction is if Brian Ruhlman shows up, he wins.
I think I heard that he is going to be at Eldora for the 4 Crown.
Oh.
So that may open things up.
Yeah, that makes it a little tougher because I know Brian's fast in a
Yeah.
modified.
And he knows how to get around Oakshade.
I think it's a even up.
Okay.
Could be either one.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so.
See how they mix it up out there. With the racing at the Red Clay at Woodstock Historic Dixie Speedway continuing hiatus for the remainder of 2022, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series has amended the October 7th and 8th weekend. That's the weekend of your park festival.
Fall festival.
The 32nd running of the Lucas Oil Dixie Shootout at Red Clay at Woodstock Historic Dixie Speedway has been canceled. The scheduled event at Talladega Short Track will shift to Saturday, October 8th. The Swims family paused operations at the historic Dixie Speedway and its sister track, Rome International Speedway, in 2022 to focus on the health of Martha Swims, who, along with her husband Mickey and other family members, have owned the legendary racetrack for 46 years. So, see, family members at other tracks are having some.
Not good.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate. NASCAR Truck Series driver Josh Rome was transported to a local hospital after a crash Thursday night during the Bristol race. Rome Brothers Racing issued the following statement, quote, "Following today's accident, Josh was taken to Bristol Regional Center for precautionary CT scans. He was diagnosed with a concussion and will be following up with a neurologist to confirm no further injuries. He has been discharged and wants to thank everyone for all the well wishes." It seems there's a lot more head injuries.
Seems like there's been a lot of drivers out with that.
And that you can't blame
with the concussion protocol.
Yeah, the next gen I know was they said that the hits are harder in the next gen Cup cars, but this was in a truck,
Right.
so I don't know. From what I heard from this incident, though, the spotter's radio wasn't heard to the guy because he spun out and then got hit by a car or truck that the spotter couldn't communicate with the driver to let him know that he was there. So, defending NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Larson and sponsor HendrickCars.com have extended their relationship with Hendrick Motorsports after agreeing to concurrent contracts that run through the 2026 racing season. HendrickCars.com will remain the team's majority partner and continues to support Larson in all non-NASCAR events in which he competes, which is a lot.
They need to keep that boy on contract forever.
Yeah.
As long as he wants to drive a race car, he should be in a Hendrick car.
Formula One released its 2023 race schedule, and the U.S. will have the most races of any country. There's going to be a total of 3: Miami on May 7th, Austin on October 24th, and Las Vegas, which is an interesting deal. I don't know if you heard anything about this. That's going to be on November 18th, the second to last race of their season. The race is going to start at 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Ooh.
10 p.m. Local time in
Right.
Las Vegas. But so it's truly a night race. It'll be the latest Formula One race ever. I think the previous latest start was 8:30.
That's crazy.
It's interesting.
What are they going to do for TV audience?
Well, it's a town that never sleeps.
Well, they've got an international audience, so
That's true.
I think it'll be. I think it was like in Europe, it's going to be like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's not really prime time for anybody, really.
Right.
I don't know. Did you see Dennis Strickland announced that he is retiring? Yeah, his last race as a driver was going to be in the Glass City 200 on Saturday. So
Great racer, great fabricator, and just truly nice guy, Scott.
excellent. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Dave Argabright had an interesting article. It was in Sprint Car Magazine asking if we had hit the limit as far as too much racing. With more racing now than ever, there's racing throughout the week, there's throughout the
Well,
year.
Scott, it wasn't that many years ago that racing ended when high school football started.
Yeah. So he's asking, have we reached the point with Hoosier unable to keep up with tire supply that is there too much racing? According to his article, Hoosier has stated that they are producing more tires now than ever before. So it seems it's not really a shortage, but demand has exceeded the supply. Thoughts?
Excessive demand, huh?
I
don't
what do
know.
you think?
Well,
Anybody?
Part of what I think is that things are getting a little tight right now, money-wise, and there's not as much money in the whole pool, and everyone starts pointing fingers when things aren't doing good. You hear people complain about the online, where you can watch every race online, and that's taken away from people at this.
Well, that's
coming
that's
in
another
and-
complaint. But there's so many races, and that's another thing where you have all these streaming services. You can watch 3 races a night.
But when things start getting tight, that's when everyone starts pointing fingers, and really it's just
Scott,
an economy thing.
I just thought it was an interesting.
I don't buy the fact that Hoosier's tire shortages are caused by increased demand, because that increased demand didn't happen overnight. It's been ramping.
Well, and they can build more.
And
It can be solved by money. They can build more plants.
It's been
and produce more
It's
tires.
been ramping up over the years. And if Hoosier is the dominant force in tire production, maybe they need to look at other suppliers and consider going away from a one-tire program.
But it could be something else. Fuel at some point could become hard
Sure.
to get. It could be the titanium or other metal to make cars. I mean, at some point there's going to be more demand than supply. Have we reached that point? Where is that point?
If we have, then
As a fan, I'm like, I can't get enough racing.
If
so.
we have, then shame on the suppliers for not keeping tabs on what's happening with their industry.
And then what's the burnout factor too? Because you have, racers working on their cars all week long. You have, like you said, the streaming going on. So there's so much racing on TV.
Well, and
as a fan, you might be like,
as
I'm tired of watching
BJ
racing.
Gregory was saying earlier, some of the top teams are running 80, 90 shows a year. Top sprint car teams are running well over 100 a year.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, I thought it was an interesting article kind of looking at things from a different perspective there. And there is a lot of racing. I think it's a good time to be in racing because there's so much
It is.
there, but
And I think people are very hungry because they were locked in their houses for almost 2 years, and now this summer things have opened up. So
well, that's another factor too. People want to get out.
absolutely.
So. Dave McManamy says electric race cars. I know that's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Scott, someday electric cars will actually be.
Weren't the first cars electric cars?
Yeah, there were a lot of electric cars back in the 20s and 30s.
So we're going back in time?
Oh, absolutely. Technology just is not where it needs to be for us to go.
I think we should have nuclear powered race cars.
Oh, there you go.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen
Okay.
cells. Water is the pollutant that comes out of hydrogen
Or
cells.
steam racing.
There we go.
It's coming up next.
Not me. If it doesn't make noise, I don't want to watch it.
Steam makes noise. Those
Not enough.
locomotives. I mean, we could have some steam late models. The Steam Late Model Series, SLMS. All right. Yeah, and that's. I guess that's it. I have on.
That's it?
News. That's it. I got how many? Chance to win some Big D's pizza. First, let's give away last week's. You had the total of. I was going to do a spin the wheel with everybody that entered,
Right.
Because I didn't have an official number on the total cars, but you did. So we're going with 26 total cars in the Glass City 200 at Toledo.
That's the numbers that started the features.
Okay, that's a good number to go with. That's what I'm going with. So we're going with 26, and I picked 32. So I was closest. You went over that. I forget what you picked, but it was more. Our listener
more.
I think it was
winner
34.
was Perry Cox, who guessed exactly 26. So Perry Cox, congratulations. You have 30 days to claim your pizza from Big D's. Just get a hold of me or Dean
Nice
Henry.
comment there, John Deere.
For experience from back then. Which is he talking about?
The electric cars.
The 20s and 30s or the
Yeah.
steam-powered cars?
Yeah.
All
There you
of
go, John Deere. That's one for you.
So this week's how many? How many sportsmen and modifieds in that combined class are we going to have for the sportsman modified dirt duel on Saturday at Oakshade?
Obviously, you're talking about entered because we know there's going to be 20 cars in the feature.
Yes, I'm talking that'll be checked in. How's that?
Okay.
So I am going to pick.
And you have to do that.
Yeah. Before I do that, though, I want to mention that if you'd like a chance to win a Big D's pizza, go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live or our YouTube Live.
And Scott's looking at the comments.
You
right
can
now. He's stalling.
have a chance
Scott's-
to win
Scott-
that Big D's pizza.
Scott's stalling because his math is a little fuzzy.
43,
and he needs some
40.
input from our listeners.
I'm going to go with 37. Going with 37 myself. What do you got, Ron?
I got to go 36.
Well, you know what? We got to have Ratty and Steve pick a number, too.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I think 28.
28. Okay.
38.
38. Going high.
Ooh.
Feeling optimistic. All right.
You and Josh Shanauer.
Son of a gun, your camera went green again.
Oh,
That was at the end of the show.
I did updates on that, too.
Oh, well.
I don't think that camera likes you. We're going to have to switch you
That's
to
all
a
right.
different one. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, you can put your guess in on our Facebook Live video, which will be archived on our Facebook page or the YouTube video until 3:30 Eastern Time, Saturday afternoon.
Sounds fair.
Okay. And then we'll find out who that winner is next week. And if you pick the same number as someone else, that's okay. We'll spin the Big D's pizza wheel to find out who gets that Big D's pizza.
Let Lady Luck decide.
This weekend's Big D's pizza racing menu on Friday nights. It's tomorrow already. Holy cow. It's the Before the Crown Showdown. World of Outlaws, USAC Midgets, USAC Silver Crown qualifying at Eldora Speedway. Gates open at 2 p.m., racing at 8. General admission, $34 there at Eldora tomorrow night. That's Friday night. Saturday night, Montpelier Motor Speedway returns to action with the Super Stock Rumble paying $1,000 to win. It's kind of like the Dominator Super Stock Spectacular.
Right.
So I wonder if that might take some of the Super Stocks down.
I don't know.
USAC Thunder Midgets also in action at Montpelier, Street Stocks and Modifieds and Hornets. Gates open at 1, racing at 3:22. They're going to their fall hours. So starting early and with the cooler temperatures, I think that makes sense.
Could be.
Yeah. General admission there is $15 at Montpelier Motor Speedway in Montpelier, Indiana. Oakshade Raceway, the topless night plus a sportsman modified dirt duel. $1,000 to the winner of that between the sportsman and UMP modified combined class feature winner. Dirt car UMP late models in action. That's where you can see Mr. Roddy Schroyer in the Lightning McSteve 95. And you can see Lightning McSteve.
And Lightning McSteve will
in the
be
35.
In the 35.
There you go.
And it's got a pretty body on it, and I expect it to come home looking like that.
Has that car? Did you get that out on the track this year? Yeah, you had some engine problems early, but like one race too. How
Yeah,
many?
we had one race in, and then we got the good motor back, and then all hell broke loose. And
So it should still look pretty.
It looks beautiful.
Okay.
It's almost car show material.
Are you expecting it to come back that way?
Oh yeah.
Okay. No pressure, Steve. The Compact's also in action, as well as the Dominator Super Stocks at Oakshade on Saturday. 4 o'clock for the gates. Racing at 7 o'clock. General admission $14. Fremont Speedway in action with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Night. The 410s, the 305s, and the dirt trucks. Gates open at 4. Racing at 7 p.m. General admission is $15, I do believe, at Fremont and Eldora. The big one there, the 40th running of the Four Crown Nationals with the USAC Midgets, the USAC Sprints, the USAC Silver Crown, and the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Gates open at noon, racing at 8 p.m. General admission is $39, and they have Sunday as a rain date for that event, should they need it. I don't think they will, though. I think
No.
they'll be all right.
Do we have anything from Ryan Weekman?
No, I got ghosted from Ryan.
Really?
Today. Yeah.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe he wasn't in, so I didn't watch.
He was there this morning.
Was he on there? Okay. I don't know. He's been
Who
busy.
knows?
He's been busy. But I did watch the weather, so we will have a weekend weather pit stop. It'll be real quick. World of Outlaw NASA Energy sprint cars will, as we mentioned, they're going to be at Eldora Friday night, and then Saturday they're moving on to Sharon Speedway. The World of Outlaw Case Construction late models will be at the State Line Showdown at Boyd Speedway in Georgia Friday and Saturday night. The All-Star Circuit of Champions, of course, we mentioned Eldora Saturday night. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is the 43rd annual Jackson 100 weekend at Brownstown Speedway. That'll be Friday and Saturday. Brownstown over in Indiana. NASCAR Xfinity Series in action at Texas Motor Speedway Saturday. It's the Andes Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. 3:30 on USA Saturday afternoon, and the Cup Series, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500 at Texas Motor Speedway on Sunday. That also at 3:30 on USA Network. Your weekend weather pit stop, dress warm.
That's it.
Dress warm. Chance of Friday's going to be fine. No problem Friday. Chance of sprinkles coming through midday on Saturday. But I don't think it'll be enough to dampen anything. It might be make for a fast track.
John Young said Street Outlaws are at Norwalk Friday and Saturday. In case you're interested in drag racing's version of Bowman Gray.
Is there going to be fights?
Probably.
Okay.
It's as contrived as Bowman Gray. Not saying that racing is fake, but
All right, then.
before you spend your money, be aware.
We have no Hammer Down Hotline playback this week.
Really?
No.
That's sad.
I had one call, and it was a very southern accent.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted debt
Car
relief.
warranty?
Debt relief. Pay off all my debt.
Really?
Yeah. Or debt forgiveness. I'm not sure what it was. But yeah, so if you want to leave a message, something racing related, feel free to do so. Give us a call on the Hammer Down Hotline. That number is 419-318-3081. It's 419-318-3081. Feel free to call anytime, day or night, or text it. Texting works.
Really?
Yeah, we've gotten texts on there before, so you're looking a little green there.
Oh, that's pretty
The end of
scary.
every show, it seems.
You know
like.
what, Scott? Next week, send me a link so if it does do this, I can go in on my phone.
Well, I was just going to use the other one that Roddy's using.
Whatever. Maybe it's me that the camera's
Maybe. I don't know. Thanks to our associate producer, Dave Kemmer, contributors Matt Swander, John Young, Doug Dock, and Bob Stazak. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check us out at HammerdownRacingReport.com as well. And make sure to rate, review us, share us with your friends. I think that helps.
Yeah.
Comment. I think commenting, it's like, it makes for...
Moves us up.
Yeah, all that good stuff. It's important stuff. Thanks to our sponsors, Oakshade Raceway, Big D's Pizza, Ryan Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Dominator Race Products, Headhunters, Barber Studio, and Salon. And if you're interested in being a sponsor of the Hammer Down Racing Report, send us a message on Facebook. Give us a call on the Hammer Down Hotline, 419-318-3081. Probably won't play those.
If you're a Cleveland Browns fan and you're over in the Clyde area, order a pizza right now.
Yeah, you got 4 minutes
Big
till
D's
the game
Pizza.
starts.
And it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the last 2 minutes, and watch the Browns lose in the last 2 minutes.
That's true. It was a it was a very big letdown. I'm used to that kind of thing, though. Being a Browns fan, we're used to that kind of stuff. Next week on the show, do you want to?
Donnie Radabaugh, the history mystery man, just an absolute wealth of knowledge on everything motorsports. Did you watch that the Banjo Man?
I haven't watched the Banjo Man one. I saw he did one with what's his face, CJ Rayburn.
Yep. If you folks get a chance, your homework assignment before next week, History Mystery Man on YouTube, and you're going to be amazed. He did an interview not too long ago with R.J. Cornett, and you're going to be amazed, not only with R.J., but with Donnie Radabaugh's knowledge of motorsports.
And there's going to be champagne next week, too, right?
That's right.
250th episode.
Wow. 250 of these silly things, Scott.
Yeah, we could go into syndication. You only need 100 episodes for syndication.
Ooh.
Although that's TV, too, so that's
Or
something different.
studio.
Thanks to our guests this week, Roddy Schroyer, BJ Gregory, and Steve Miller for coming in as well. We'll be back again, as we mentioned, with Don Radabaugh Thursday, 7 o'clock. Twitter, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all those places. Make sure to join us then. Until then, get out and support your local racetrack this weekend, because the race season's coming to a close.
Before it ends, be there.
Yeah, be there. Don't be square. We'll see you next week.
See you, folks.
See ya.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.